They've won Tonys and Oscars and Emmys and Grammys. There's no red carpet 'cause they're home in their jammies. From Melrose Place to Broadway to Janeway and her crew. Let Seth and James bring all the stars to you.
Anywho.
They're entertaining everyone, so who's gonna grouse? Just sit right back and you'll hear some tales on Stars in the House.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Stars in the House. We're back.
I just got a piece of chocolate.
I said, I hope you're not going to be chewing that. Who was it that gave the comment the other night?
I don't know. I love chocolate.
There was like
so much.
no smacking. Seth.
I love chocolate.
Jeez. Seth's back from Provincetown for hours ago, and this is probably chocolate you bought in Provincetown, right? No?
No, just I bought that for my trainer.
All right, so we are wearing the same shirts that we wore in February when we had the Love Boat cast on. So, and we have Jill Whelan here live with us to chat a little bit. But we are here for the Actors Fund, which as we have passed Jill Whelan. This is the amount we're up to we are up to $1,052,800 raised for the Actors Fund. We made it, Jill, in June 30th. Oh, you're so sweet. She's bowing down. The Love Boat was a big part of that. We raised a lot of money that night, and it was so much fun. And that's why it's the Olympics last week, this week, and we are doing these encores. And this week, Jill is kicking it off with our TV encore, our favorites. Tomorrow we have Kevin Chamberlain live. Because we have the Jesse reunion that aired last May. We have the next week we have Jenna Ushkowitz is going to be here live, introducing the Glee Encore. Friday we have two people. We have a real life couple, Laura Layton and Doug Savant from Melrose Place. We love that couple. And then Saturday, Chandra Wilson from Grey's Anatomy. Chandra is going to be here live with us on Saturday night. But the Actors Fund is a human services organization that benefits everyone every professional in the performing arts across the country. As we say, not just in LA, not just in New York, everywhere, behind the scenes, on stage, backstage. And you can go to actorsfund.org for help. They're still on their second round of giving out grants, but of course they also, as you've heard on the show, have amazing workshops from financial help to career transitioning to helping you navigate the health marketplace to get health insurance or to keep your health insurance.
I was just with Judy Kuhn in Provincetown, and she was saying that her health insurance she had 2 weeks left right when the pandemic hit. 2 weeks that she had to work to get like another health insurance, and then the pandemic hit. So she's going to have to figure out what the hell to do.
Exactly.
And it's going to the Actors Fund for that help.
She is.
Yeah.
Smart woman.
But she's never had to deal with it before. She's been working on Broadway since 1985. Man.
Wow. All right. So if you're able to give, please go to starsinthehouse.com or text Fund 2020 to 56512. Thank you, David. You'll get a receipt. You'll forward that receipt to donations at starsinthehouse.com.
Are we doing any tonight?
What's that say?
Are you reading any tonight?
No, we're not reading.
Right
Yes, people are donating right now.
So if you donate right now, we'll read them before the show begins.
Yeah,
right?
Do it ASAP. Exactly. And anything from Provincetown before we bring Jill on?
No, it was great. The theater, everyone had to be vaccinated. Everybody had to be masked, and because there's circulation, but I want to say the circulation in the theater is amazing. So there are lots of doors. So every 5 minutes, they open up all the doors and get them open for 10 minutes. So it's like I felt very safe being up there.
That's great. They're doing what Broadway is going to be doing, which is the exact same thing.
Yeah, vaccinated, masked, and good circulation.
That's right. Which in these times, I feel like in a weird way that we're kind of where we were as a country in February when Jill and the cast were on. So, dear God, let's not return to those dark days. So,
I'm saying, did I fear phony vaccination cards? No, because everyone was masked. So it's like, back in the day,
I see what you're saying, right?
If everyone's masked anyway. So I guess there could have been a couple,
right?
But
the masks help. It's the other layer of protection, right?
If it was just vaccination cards, then I wouldn't be so easygoing.
Okay, so let's bring on one of the stars of the Love Boat. She was graciously said yes, and we've changed the times a little bit so she could be with us live, which I really appreciate. Please welcome Jill Whelan.
Hi guys, how are you?
Hi, Jill.
You look so cute in your shirts.
Well, we had to wear these shirts for in honor of the Love Boat. The last time we wore them was in February.
Are we doing that or that?
We're doing this. So okay. So right before we went on the air, I said to Jill, I said, "How do you pronounce your last name?" And Jill, I said it correctly, right?
You absolutely did.
Okay, but I wasn't. This is Seth knows this about me. I'm always trying to, like, before the guests come on, like, okay, I'll Google it, try to figure out how to pronounce your names.
Whatever, just let's ask them. I'm very casual about it.
He's
he
very
always wants to be
casual.
perfect.
But I try to do it. So, but with Jill, the first one was like, Jill.
Well, hold on. You looked up interviews.
I looked up interviews on YouTube. Thank you, Seth. And the first one was like, Jill. The other one was Jill Whelan. Jill Whelan. Someone just said Jill. They were like, you know what? Let's just say Jill. And the other one, Jill Whelan. And I thought, okay, I've done this before. You can go to Google and you can, like, how do you pronounce for, famous actor's name? And Jill Whelan was one of them. This is what it's.
Whelan.
Oh, they're just like totally not even doing either one. They're sort of right in the middle. Well,
Yeah.
Yes, and also their acting is terrible. There's no emotion.
flat.
Yeah,
Just
I don't buy
flat.
it.
Don't like it.
Jill, we obviously we would be remiss if we don't remember Gavin, because listen, we had a great time. It was such an easy time of doing the show. Sometimes the reunion shows can be a little bit challenging, not with the Love Boat. I mean,
and with Gavin
and
MacLeod,
Gavin was
it was right after his birthday, because we had the same birthday. It was right after February 28th.
No, it was right before your birthday.
Oh, okay. I knew it was birthday time.
Yeah.
How did the cast react when Gavin MacLeod passed away?
We all cried. I literally fell apart, and I was on the phone with the person who was speaking for the family to let me know what had happened, and I just threw the phone at my husband and sat on the couch and put a pillow over my face and just started crying. He was like my dad. So I was lucky enough to be able to play a part in eulogizing him. Mm-hmm. So that was really special. Just to get through it was really great. Those things are hard.
Can you tell us a story about Gavin that maybe we wouldn't know?
Okay, I'll tell you the story that I told at the memorial service. I'll tell you, if there's time, I'll tell you too. Okay, so the first story I told was Gavin, along with the rest of us, we have a penchant for bathroom humor. I don't know why, we just do. And so we were traveling, and we were in Japan, and we were in the Tokyo airport customs part. And if you travel and you go through customs, it's usually kind of tense in customs. I don't know why,
it is.
Yeah, so it's very, very quiet. And that airport is very, very quiet. And we're standing in line, and I'm standing here, and in front of me is our body makeup lady, Margie, who looks just like Doris Day. And Gavin is standing in front of her. All of a sudden, Gavin lets out a very curious sound from the nether regions. And let me just say that it echoed. And it literally vibrated. And
so quiet.
He turns around and looks at our body makeup lady and says, Margie. So there's that story. But then another favorite is
what a bitch.
I know. So Gavin and I, we love food. Both of us love food, and we were consequently always on a diet when we were doing Love Boat. And one day he calls me into his trailer because he had just ordered this equipment for both of us. It's those little patches that you put on to sort of shock your muscles.
Yeah, the muscle stimulation.
Right,
thing.
so that we didn't have to work out. We could just do this in our trailer.
Right.
So he calls me and, Jill, come here. I got us lunch. I got a hamburger. We can share it. So we sat in his dressing room with the patches all over, sharing a hamburger. Isn't this the best hamburger you've ever had?
Calories didn't count because you had that happening.
That's right. Well, that was for multitasking before it was a thing.
Hey, Jill, Jon LaPook is on location. Can you hold on for a minute? Because we have something special that Seth has that's Love Boat related.
Oh, sure.
Okay, so hold on for 1 second. Jill will be back with you in a second. Please welcome to Stars in the House, our roving doctor, Dr. Jon LaPook. Hi, John.
Hi, guys, and hi, Jill, off stage. And my condolences. That was beautiful, what you were saying. And I'm sitting here on Amsterdam and 78th. And you know what? I went out to dinner, and I thought this is a good opportunity because these are the nitty gritty questions that people have. Like, what can I do? So we've decided not to go indoors, even though I'm vaccinated, because you can't wear a mask indoors and eat.
Right.
So I'm not worried really about myself getting infected in terms of getting seriously ill or dying, because the vaccines are very effective. I'm vaccinated. You are 8 times less likely, per the CDC, a couple of days ago told me, you're 8 times less likely to get symptomatic illness if you're vaccinated. You're 25 times less likely to get hospitalized. You're 25 times less likely to die. And if you look at the Kaiser Family Foundation website, you'll see 98 to 99% of hospitalizations and deaths are in the unvaccinated people.
Right.
So this sort of this narrative. I did a New York thing where she asked me to watch her bench there, and I did. And so she's off with her benchmark.
Excellent.
And
You're
although
a good New Yorker.
because my son Noah is getting an apartment, I said, well, maybe we could get it. No, that would be wrong. So anyway, people are worried. There's confusion about, well, why should I get vaccinated if I have to wear a mask? No. You're going to be pretty safe. Yes, there are some deaths, relatively small number relative to the 165 million people vaccinated. But the problem is that now we know that people who are vaccinated in, not huge amounts, but in some cases can get infected, and they can infect. Therefore, it turns out they can infect other people.
Right.
We thought at first that the amount of virus would be so little you couldn't, but now it turns out you can. And as Seth pointed out when I talked to him about this study from Singapore, it turns out that you were probably just as infectious the first day, but then it trails off very quickly and more quickly in people who are vaccinated than unvaccinated. I love the way the two of you have become science guys and are looking at graphs and interpreting. It's so great. So I made the decision to be outdoors at this restaurant right there. And I think that's perfectly safe. Now, the waiter comes by initially without a mask. And I said, would you feel uncomfortable if I asked you to wear a mask? And he said, no, of course not. And he put on a mask. And I'm saying that for 2 reasons. One is somebody told me last night that people are more likely to do what you want if the answer is no rather than yes. So if I said, can you put on a mask? He might have said no, but if I said, are you uncomfortable putting on a mask? People want to say no. So he said no. Anyway.
Well, Dr. LaPook, you inspired me because I came in from Provincetown. I had to take 2 cars today, and both cars, they weren't wearing masks, even though the windows were open. And when I got in, I said, would you mind wearing a mask? And both of them are like, oh, totally. And they both said, oh, I'm vaccinated. And I said, so am I, but I just know too many people that have gotten COVID, and they were fine about it. So, and I also did your thing. The driver's window was open, and the window on the other side of me was open. I did that cross-ventilation thing.
As many windows I do. So my rule now, I get in a cab. I'm doing cabs, but I'm wearing a really good mask, and I open the windows, and I feel good. At the end of the day, you can't be perfect 100%. You got to live our lives. But guess what? I'm outdoors without a mask, which I wasn't a year ago. I'm outdoors eating food right there at that wonderful Georgian food restaurant without a mask. And I just needed to sort of have the guts, whatever, to say to the waiter, this is what would make me feel more comfortable. Maybe that's his gimmick, because I gave him an enormous tip. So maybe they're supposed to wear masks. He comes in without the mask. Have I been had? I've been played. I think I've been played. Anyway.
No.
There's some good news, about 70% uptick in the number of vaccinations in the past week. And it's in areas where people are getting hammered. The bad news is there's, increase in deaths, increase in hospitalizations. We all know about the hotspots. Get vaccinated, wear a mask at school, get vaccinated if you're a teacher. That's all I got to say.
All right.
Great news. You inspired me. I had your voice in my head. So
I'm
thanks
so
very much.
glad. You're right that it feels icky. It feels weird, right? To say these things like, am I being rude? No, It's your life, and not only your life, it's everybody else's life who you could possibly infect if you get infected. We got to think about society.
Right.
Thank you, ma'am. All right,
All right.
enjoy your meal.
Take care.
All right.
Bye.
Bye, John.
Bye, Dr. LaPook. Sorry, Julie just sneezed
Julie's better. She's
loud.
right behind us, and her sneeze is
It was
like Seth's.
crazy.
Crazy.
And there were 3 in a row.
All right, let's bring back
Oh,
on.
look, Kat Young, vaccinated teacher here. Hi, Kat.
Excellent.
Bye-bye.
Absolutely.
Still got
All
it.
right, Jill, let's bring you back on.
Hello.
Hello.
So, Jill, we have 2 things.
Yes.
So we'll read the donation
Oh, yeah.
after. So
You want to read the donation?
keep sending those
afterwards.
donations in. But do you remember this particular episode?
Oh my God.
Love
Of
Boat?
course. Absolutely. Yes.
So why don't you tell everybody
Let's go
who's
a
in
little
this
bit
photo?
closer.
Okay, so this photo was from our musical episode. There's Della Reese, there is Van Johnson and Ethel Merman and Carol Channing and Ann Miller. And it was just so much fun. I can't even tell you.
Okay, so of course James and I know it very well. So around a week ago, I get a letter. Oh, there it is.
What?
I get a letter. The return address is Carol Channing.
And
Now-
it's in like nice, like
Did
you
I
know.
just show the address
Yeah,
here?
I didn't. Well, I didn't. I just shouldn't have.
All right.
It's like it can't.
But
But
it's
it's like
nice.
it's nice. Like it's like a nice note card.
Yeah.
And Carol, people don't know Carol Channing passed away a couple of years ago. So this was weird. Dear Seth, that great production number in the sky is badly in need of your genius, believe me. Hope she's not hoping for my death, but still, I'm going to take it as a compliment.
It sounds nefarious at the moment.
But don't hasten to get here, for the earth needs your humor and light even more than we do. I wore this star-spangled chemise on the Love Boat and couldn't think of anyone who would appreciate it more than you. Thank you for all the joy you spread and for the many eyes you have turned towards the magic of the theater. Heart, Carol. And in the box,
Oh my God, you're going to show it to me. Yay! Incidentally, that's what I said on my honeymoon too, but that's a different story.
work.
Look at this, Jill.
Oh my gosh, that is genius. That is genius. Oh,
Can you, by the way, size 0. Can you believe it?
that's amazing. That's amazing. So do you know, is it just her estate sent it to you? That's just the sweetest thing
No,
ever.
well, she had an auction, so someone obviously bid on it and then anonymously sent it as like the Carol's angel.
How
to Seth.
sweet is that?
I mean, the whole time I was like, everything I was in shock over the letter, the return address. Like everything is bizarre.
And once we knew that you were going to come on the show, we were like, okay, when Jill comes on, it's the perfect time to reveal it. Because actually, it was a couple of weeks ago.
So,
wow, was that long ago?
Yeah.
so what will you do with it now? Are you going to put it in a frame or?
No.
Well, I've been wearing it to bed, but it's just tight right around.
Yeah. You don't want to wear stars. They're hard to.
No, but James and I do role play. Like I'm Carol, he's Ethel. It's like a whole thing. So, you know, you guys understand when a marriage gets a little stale, you try to sass it up.
My
Where was
God.
I? Well, she did the
Oh
honeymoon
my
joke.
God.
Yes, she did.
Actually, I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I don't know.
By the way, totally tangential, but
Yeah.
I just want to give a shout out to my brother-in-law, Gary Nielsen, because his nephew, Chris Nielsen, just won the silver at the Tokyo Olympics in men's pole vaulting.
Whoa.
Yep.
That's amazing.
Isn't that
Oh,
amazing? Isn't that
Yeah.
amazing? He's calling me going, I know you were in the news business for a while. Nobody's showing the event. And how do I get them? How do I tell them to interview Chris? I don't know.
Aw.
He's on the desk.
Oh, wow. SiriusXM, talk to you after. And Seattle Suzy Q was right. Auction it off for the Actors Fund. I
Oh,
think it's a great idea.
Oh.
that's a fabulous idea. That's a fabulous idea.
When you're done wearing it.
You stop asking me to wear it every night. Anywho, okay, so do before you go, I
Yeah.
would love you to go to the private chat because we got a donation and you're mentioned in it. Would you mind reading it?
Aw.
Oh, wow. Okay. So this donation is from Deb DiMartini, who is, I'm telling you, she is a performer's angel. I'm just going to say it. She is the most amazing, supportive, prolific supporter of the arts that I have met in a very long time. And I am so thrilled to be able to read this and shine some light on her. This donation is in honor of tonight's Love Boat reunion. In addition to being to honoring the entire cast, this is a special shout out to Jill. And as always, I thank you both and your staff for the tremendous work you have done to raise funds for the Actors Fund. Your efforts are truly remarkable. Best regards, Deb DeMartini. Deb, you are an angel as always.
And I left out the amount. I wanted to 10.
Oh, I love it.
No, it's 100. Gosh. Oh no, I'm sorry. Here it is. $1,030.
Come on.
How nice is that? Deb, that is so kind. And like we said, you know, I keep saying Broadway's coming back. Before Broadway shut down, I didn't have a job on Broadway. A lot of people don't have jobs. So even if Broadway's coming back, people aren't working, man. And now they haven't worked for a year and a half. So the need is still really there. So the donation is incredible. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Hey, Deb Martini, Deb did Martini.
Yes, Deb. Thank you.
Yes, Queen.
Yes, Queen.
All right. Anything else we have to say?
I think that's it. I enjoy our reunion of the Love Boat
with not only the cast of the Love Boat, but special surprise guest Charo.
Okay, wait a minute. Okay, so Jill, we couldn't. So what? Charo, when she came on before you run it, David, it's like she was exactly what I hoped that she would be. That's how she was? She just the same on camera as off camera?
She is absolutely. And she's also super, super smart. She is, as I'm sure we talked about last time, but again, it bears remembering, she is the #2 flamenco guitarist in the world. And she practices, this is the universal sign, I think, for flamenco.
Yes, ma'am.
And she practices 4 hours every day. She is phenomenal, and she makes one hell of a paella.
Oh, nice.
If she did a vegetarian version, I'd be interested.
Well, it was sweet because Gavin was definitely surprised. That's one of the, we've done so many shows, but that for me, especially as a fan of the Love Boat, growing up with the Love Boat, to see Charo on and to see Gavin's reaction, everyone's reaction, but especially Gavin, was really sweet.
He was just, he was so childlike in his enthusiasm for everything. And I think that's the most wonderful legacy that he left us with, is this incredible wonder and appreciation and love of everything. He just was a remarkable, remarkable human being.
Before I forget, Fred and Ted, your co-stars, Toby reminded me, Fred and Ted are coming back to the Red House, which is the theater they were in last year in Syracuse.
Oh.
Ted is directing Fences by August Wilson, February 2022, and Fred is starring in Dirty Rotten Scoundrels in June 2022.
Oh, next summer. Oh, great.
Isn't that great? Isn't that great? I'm so happy for both of them. And Fred just did a play in Aspen. I think it was 2 nights. Give him Hell, Harry.
Yeah, with Hunter Foster.
Yeah.
I love it.
So that was
Everyone
pretty
connected. All right, let's enjoy Love Boat.
All right. Hit it, Dave. Seth?
Oh, gosh.
Pressure.
Do I have enough volume? Is that loud enough? Here we go.
All right. It's definitely loud for me.
Sorry.
It's okay. Oh, wow. Mood. Yes. All right. Let's bring on Vicki Stubing, otherwise known as Jill Whelan. Hi,
Hey,
Jill.
guys. How are you?
Good.
Good.
All right. Doc himself, Bernie Kopell.
Hi,
Bernie. Hi, Bernie.
How you doing?
We know his daughter. We're going to talk about her a little bit later. But we have Fred Grandy, otherwise known as Gopher.
Hi, guys. Nice to see you. How you doing?
Okay, you just stopped Seth dead in his tracks.
That freaked me out.
That scared
This
him.
is a Gopher action figure. Emphasis on action.
Figure.
All right, we have Isaac, our favorite bartender, Ted Lange.
Yay, Teddy.
Keep going, Seth. We got our cruise director coming up, Lauren Tewes. Julie McCoy. Hi, Lauren.
There she is.
And last but not least, the Captain Stubing, Gavin MacLeod.
Yay. What's happened?
Hi.
Okay, you are in full costume. Everybody else, step it up. Why is only Gavin in costume?
That hat is grafted to his head.
Uh-oh, I think, hey, David, I think
We had a Wi-Fi
it
problem.
looked like Lauren might have been like on an iPad or something. So, David, David's going to get her. But in the meantime, we've got our other 5 cast members.
First of all, we're already starting some competition. Hey, Fred, you were always my favorite on the Love Boat. Not cool. Not cool at all. That's from your daughter, Mariah.
That's right. That's right. I've got friends in high places, guys.
We have so many questions. We have so many fun clips. The first thing I wanted to ask was for you, Gavin. I forgot that literally the Mary Tyler Moore Show ended in 1977 and the Love Boat started in 1977. When the Mary Tyler Moore Show ended, did you already know that you were going to be doing the Love Boat?
Not at all. As a matter of fact, Patty, my wife, and I decided we'll put we had a nightclub act. We put that and go out on the road. That was enough television for a while. But there were a couple of offers that came in, that was such a hot show, Mary's show. Everybody wanted us to work on other things. And there were a couple of other pilots, and I didn't like either one for my character. One was like Murray in a cowboy suit, and it was things like that. But my agent called me and said, Aaron Spelling wants you to do this thing called the Love Boat. I said, I think I've heard about that. Did somebody do that once? He said, I don't know. I said, have you read it? He says, yeah. I said, so what do you think? He says, I think it sucks. You want to read it? I said, sure. So he sent it to me. Patty and I drove down. We had a place in Palm Springs. She looked at it first, and she said, Gavin, I think this is going to be a wonderful show. People are going to love, and you're the captain. So I read it, and there was one story that really touched my heart. Everything was funny, except Phil Silvers, this old Jewish guy, came on. He wanted to die at sea because all the places were taken at the cemetery in Astoria. And so he wanted to die at sea. And what happened was I wept when I read that. And I said, boy, this has really got something. And so in the meantime, I saw Aaron and Doug Kramer, Henry Coleman, and we put a deal together. And that was the beginning of it all, of all these years. And we're still reaping the rewards of it, all of us.
So, Gavin, how long were you out of work? 2 days?
Exactly.
I was never out of work in those days. It's only now since I've got a little over 80, 89.
That was hard for you to say, huh, Gavin?
Yeah, to be 90 in 2 weeks, for God's sakes.
That got stuck in his throat.
Seth, ask Gavin when his birthday is.
My birthday's coming up too. When is your birthday?
I'm going to do on 3. 1, 2, 3.
February 28th?
That's mine.
That's Gavin's
That's
birthday.
mine.
Seth.
Gavin,
Wow.
we're so connected. I had no idea. I always knew that I loved you, but I didn't know why.
I'll tell you, are your parents still living out this way?
Yes, and my dad's exactly your age. I have to hook you guys up.
For them in Costco, but you can't go to Costco anymore.
Oh my God, you're turning 89?
No, I'm turning 90.
So is my dad. You're the exact same age. My head's coming off. Okay, Gavin, we're catching up later. Everybody else, I love you too.
I know. So when we finally can go and see his dad again, Gavin, we'll come and see you because I think you do live right down the street from one another.
Yes.
I want to hear how everyone. So, Gavin, we heard your story. Ted, how did you get the role of Isaac?
Well, I had done 2 series for ABC TV. That's My Mama, and then Mr. T and Tina with Pat Morita. And they called me up, and I went in and I met the producer, Doug Kramer. I didn't read or anything. He just asked me, "Do you get seasick?" And I an actor will say anything to get the gig. No, I don't get seasick. So I said, okay, that was it. I left. Next thing I know, I show up on the set, and Bernie Kopell says, "Hey, I was at the auditions. I didn't see you. Were you there early in the morning or late in the evening? Because I missed you. I didn't see you." I said, "Bernie, the really good actors didn't have to audition." And I used that joke for 10 years. Yeah.
Wait a minute, Ted. So you lied about not getting seasick, but did you know anything about mixing drinks, or you just literally
No, absolutely. I'm one of the few actors that never was a bartender. So I had to go to bartending school after the first year. If you watch the show, the first year, I'm sticking umbrellas into all the drinks because I didn't know anything about pouring. And then I went to bartender school after that because we were number 1. And I said, geez, people are going to notice if I don't learn this. So I went and learned it.
Wow.
Yeah, fun.
Bravo. Okay, what about you, Bernie? I assume you were a real doctor, right?
Of course, I never lost a patient yet. But in your case, I'd be willing to make an exception. Only kidding.
You still got it. Okay, so apparently you had to go through a lot of auditions as opposed to Ted. So how did it happen?
Teddy keeps rubbing it in for 40 years that I had to audition. I made it anyway.
Yeah. Tell him about the jacket, Bernie.
What?
The jacket, the coat that you wore on the screen.
Oh,
Ted.
yeah. Well, oh, yeah. I had this beautiful nautical jacket. And I said, this is so nautical. I says, it's going to really help me get the job. So this other actor comes up. He doesn't know why I was there. And he said, that jacket is so right. He said, I'm auditioning for the doctor. Would you let me wear that? And I had to think for him. And he's supposed to be generous. And I said, no, it's for me. There goes my humanity right out the window.
Yeah.
That poor actor now needs the actor's fund. Okay.
By the way, you see this mustache?
Yes.
I'm doing a show now called Be Positive. Chuck Lorre, who's the Aaron Spelling of today.
Yes, we know because my friend Marco Panett helped write that show too.
Yes, he did.
And Annalie Ashford's on it.
Yeah. Oh, she's brilliant. She is so brilliant. A guy sits down I've never seen before. He says, hello, my name is Marco Panett. He said, 15 years ago, I wasn't feeling very well. I went to a doctor and he said, you need a new kidney. And this show is about all the adventures and experiences I had getting the kidney, plus some imagination that happened. So,
I didn't know it's based on I mean, I knew Marco wrote it. I didn't know it's based on actually Marco's life.
love
We're really good
it.
friends with Marco. Obviously, I don't really take him what he says.
His actually life. And it's going so, and Annalie Ashford is so brilliant.
She's a Broadway baby.
Yeah, she's amazing. Dancing, singing, fooling around, all that stuff.
Turns out you auditioned well, apparently.
Lauren, are you able to hear us? Because your Wi-Fi is a little bit wonky, but we're gonna hope for the best.
Our Wi-Fi's wonky. All right, Lauren, we're gonna piece out a new cruise direction for just a moment. We're gonna have David reconnect you. David is a genius at reconnecting people. So Lauren, peace out. Let me ask Mr. Fred Grandy,
Yes.
Sure.
how did you get the gig? Did your daughter Mariah get you an audition through backstage or something?
Well, obviously, I'll tell you one thing about Mariah that I don't think she's told you, Seth. Her first real performance was on the Love Boat. We were doing a cruise in the Mediterranean. It was a Greek ship, and she was just a kid. She was like 8 or 9, and she was traveling with us. And there was talent night on the ship, as there frequently is. And unbeknownst to her mother and me, she signed up and sang Out Here on My Own from Fame a cappella, got a huge response. But what she really did was impress the act that followed her on stage. And that person spoke for 5 minutes about how great she was. That was Eddie Albert. Can you believe that? 9 years old. No encouragement from her mother and I at all. We had no idea she was going to do this. And she sings it a cappella. And Eddie Albert comes out and says, wow, that kid was that a great kid or what? I mean, Eddie Albert, he was doing one of our shows. And he was, he did that too. So that's how she started.
But Fred, you knew she could sing, right?
Oh, yeah.
That
No.
voice. Right.
Yeah. Well, as a baby, of course, she could complain and cry. And so we knew that there was some talent there. Yeah.
I'm going to show you. People don't know. Fred's daughter Mariah has one of the most, it's such a solid, genetically perfect voice. It's just perfectly placed. This is a little clip. We always do these Broadway cruises. This is one of our Broadway cruises. I'm playing for Mariah. Fred, this is your chance to Kopell.
All right.
Jewish
I'm ready.
or be proud. Here we go. Mariah, listen how great she is. I'm playing the piano. She's belting her face off. I'm obsessed.
A celebration throughout Oz. That's all to do with me. And I stand there with the winter, feeling things I've never felt. And though I never showed it, I'm so happy I couldn't count. And so it will be.
Yeah. Now, when do you hear her belt? No, she's always had that voice. And by the way, Gavin, just so that you know, she's going to be singing you happy birthday in a couple of weeks.
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
No. We worked that out.
Oh wow.
Yeah. But you know, she's had this huge voice. I mean, when she was a little kid, I remember we hailed a cab in Athens, and a guy from Istanbul showed up. I mean, it was just unbelievable.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah. Always working on new material.
Yes,
You and
I-
Bernie.
exactly.
There you go.
Yeah.
Jill, you are just a kid.
Hi, Jill.
Hi, Seth. Hi, James.
Hi again.
How are you?
Good.
How did you become Captain Stubing's daughter? You were so young.
I know. Well, I was on another. By the way, Bernie, I did not audition either.
Oh, you're really bugging me.
I was on on another show for Aaron Spelling called Friends, and not the one that And so we were up against 60 Minutes, and we didn't last. But fortunately, I had done a guest spot playing Gavin's daughter. Well, inferred as the daughter, but never told for sure. And they just decided to bring me back when my show didn't make it. So.
How nice.
So you weren't. So when they brought you on, you weren't going to be this kind of regular thing. It was just kind of a one episode gig.
Right. And the out was that I was inferred as his daughter, but it was never for sure. And so then I, went back to my TV show, and that got canceled. And then I went back to Livermore, California, and in Northern California. And Aaron Spelling called and said, "Hey, how would you like to come back and play on the Love Boat for real?"
Wow.
Gavin, did you have anything to do with that? Did you say I want a daughter more often?
We were shooting one day, and Aaron came over and talked to me. He said, "We have an idea. I want to run it by you." He says, "What about you having a daughter?" I said, "Is this the Immaculate Conception? How I'm not even married." And he said, "Remember, you did a show. You were in love with that woman. She was a model. You had great love scenes. And she said she would only marry you if you gave up the sea, if you would just stay home and not go on cruises and all that." And I remember that show. As a matter of fact, there was a wonderful English captain right after we did that particular show where I chose the sea over her. And Brian Biddick, his name was, a great looking guy. And I said, "Brian, Dr. Captain," I said, "tell me, would this we're going to do a show about this." And the guy, I said, he picked his career over his wife. He said, "Would that really happen?" And he said, "Old man, that happened to me."
Wow.
It's in my blood. It was in his. And so that was the beginning. And Aaron came to me and said, "We have this little girl. She's wonderful. And it's going to help us get the younger kids to watch." And I met her and fell in love with her like everybody else. And that was the beginning of this extraordinary human being.
Jill, had you already done Airplane at that point, or did you do it while you were filming The Love Boat?
I did it right around the time that my first series happened. So it was all right at the same time. It all just kind of went boom, 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 boom.
Wow.
Well, people are watching. They're like, "How was she on Airplane?" Just talk about that for 2 seconds, because you got to play the sick child on the plane. How'd you get that gig?
I went into the executive producer's office, Howard Koch, and I remember being super impressed because he had these 2-story gold doors, and I was totally impressed. And I just walked in, I sat on his couch, and I read the script, my sides that he had given to me, and then he said, "Make a funny face," and I made that face. And that was it.
See, Bernie, it's easy.
Yeah.
Bernie would have gotten the gig.
He's furious. If people don't know what she's talking about, here's Jill being belted at, and unfortunately the stewardess kind of disconnects her line, and then the funny face comes.
There is only one river, there is only one sea, and it flows through you, and it flows through me. There is only one people, we are one and the same.
Patterson, another belter.
That voice, Lorna Lembeck now, married to Michael
Yes.
Lembeck. What a voice, man.
She is something else. She's a cancer.
She's a cancer now, yes.
Yeah.
Baruch.
Baruch atah Adonai, baby.
We're gonna hope Lauren. How's
Lauren
it?
looks frozen.
Because she was on her laptop. How are you doing, Lauren? Can you hear us?
I'm here.
Oh no.
There's just a delay.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
You look cute.
Good. Thank you.
How did you get the job? There's a little delay, so we'll just let you talk about how you got the job. I assume you auditioned like most normal people.
I auditioned the day before we started filming the third pilot. Gavin and I third pilot of The Love Boat. And I was hired the night before at 9:00 at night. And I auditioned all day. And then by the end, then they wanted to look at some footage. So they had an episode of Starsky and Hutch that I was in. And then I got a call from my agent saying, well, you have the job and it starts tomorrow. So I had to borrow money to buy a tire for my Volkswagen so I could get to the location. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
You're just like Vivian Lee. She was hired the night before Gone with the Wind.
That's incredible. Your whole life changes. So that's what's so good about being a
Yeah, it's exactly the same, Jill. It's exactly the same.
Same outfit, big hoop skirt.
Right.
Well, yeah, you know, well, one of the things that we discovered when we were looking for clips is that at the time, I think this is 1983, the future chairman of the board of the Actors Fund,
which we're raising money for tonight, as we've said, Brian Stokes Mitchell was on the Love Boat. Of course, like basically every person who's ever on Broadway, TV, or film in the 70s and 80s was on the Love Boat. And so we found it, and we just thought it was fun because, of course, a big part of the Love Boat were the entrances and like who's on tonight. So I just thought this was really cute to see. This is to remind you to donate.
Yes.
StarsInTheHouse.com. Help the Actors Fund.
That's right. Here's Brian Stokes Mitchell.
Hello. I'm Jeffrey Never of Never and Beaumont.
Welcome aboard, Mr. Never. Let's see, you're on the Fiesta deck, cabin 130.
Has my father been aboard yet? He would be Thomas Never.
Oh, yes, just a few minutes ago.
And not alone, I presume?
No, not exactly.
It's a good thing I'm a lawyer. I just hope I can get him out of this one.
I love the mystery that is able to come across in 30 seconds. I've been talking to Lauren.
You know, Brian was on the 20th Century Fox lot, and he was doing Trapper John at the time.
That's right.
And so I would see him all the time. And it was like this, brother to brother. Got the gig, man. We got the gig. You know.
Well,
but yeah.
Speaking of the lot, Fred, maybe you can answer this. Like, how much was split between being on location and being on a soundstage?
Well, we usually went out for between 6 weeks to 2 months a year. Wow. Either down to Mexico to do a variety of shows, or then we started going around the world, you know, because we became this global event. And what's interesting, when I work with guys today who are like 30 and 40, they're used to CGI. They never go anywhere. They never go on location because, you know, it's all done by computers. And when you say, they say, well, what was it like being in Greece? I said, well, you know, we were stars everywhere. And I don't think that happens anymore. I mean, all of the places you saw, we went. We were in Alaska 3 or 4 times. We were in the Greek Isles, as I told you. We were in China before anybody else was. Wow. We were in Australia, New Hebrides, Fiji, places like that, and Northern Europe. We did that fjord cruise that you guys talked about. So I mean, there was really no place that we didn't go. And at the same time, Gavin knows this better than I do. We essentially ignited the cruise industry. It was moribund when the show started. But after the show took off, all of these cruise lines that you guys been on, they didn't exist then.
Wow.
And essentially they were all spawned by the people in front of you right now.
Yeah.
Guys.
Thanks for the gig.
You bet. You bet. But no, really, I mean,
Yeah, Fred.
and it was one of these things at the time that I guess we just kind of adapted to it. I mean, we'd go in to see Aaron and the other producer, Doug Kramer, and he'd say, well, we've just signed a deal. We're going to be in the Mediterranean for 6 weeks, and we'll be in Egypt, and we'll be in Israel, and we'll be on the island of Rhodes, and we'll be in Istanbul, and we'll be in Cannes and Nice and Monte Carlo. You'll be okay with that. And we said, yeah, we'll be okay with that, Doug. Yeah, that's fine.
Well,
So,
you know what?
I mean, you remember Bernie and Ted and I? Do you guys remember when we did that Greek dance out of Zorba on the shore?
Sure. Yeah,
and we were like in some little Greek island town.
Yeah.
You can't do that anymore. It would all be done by computers.
And Maria was there. What was Arnold Schwarzenegger's wife? She was there on the set.
You mean Maria Shriver?
Maria Shriver was
Right.
there when we did the Greek dance. Yeah.
Shriver.
No, I mean, it was, and that was one of the premier gigs. If you got a Love Boat gig, it was great. If you got a Love Boat cruise, that was heaven.
Well, okay, we've got a few clips, and I think this may have been one of the first, if not the first, real on location in Alaska that I think is just really sweet. And Lauren, talk about it on the other side, because this is a sweet scene with four of you.
Alaska king crab. A meal fit for a king or a doctor. Julie, what'd you put in this mustard sauce?
Mustard and sauce. Hey, I think it'll take Let me see this for a minute.
Okay. What this place needs? Nothing.
Right on.
I love that line. You know what this place needs? Nothing. Lauren, what were you going to say?
I was going to say that the best part about cruising for us was that, as Fred said, it was a great job for the guest stars, but that made it great for us because that work as much on usually places we were visiting. It was wonderful.
Your Wi-Fi is conking out, but your comment sounds very positive.
Oh, I'm delayed. That's why this is so weird.
It's a little robotic. We also have, by the way, a clip of Australia, and I just want to say that when I went to Australia, they were like, "You are not allowed to touch the koalas." But I guess I was not a big enough TV
Yeah,
star.
apparently Jill Whelan is able to do that.
Furious.
Yes, I'm not.
He's adorable.
He is cute, isn't he?
I did.
Her name's Elizabeth, and she's my favorite.
They certainly move quickly, don't they?
Actually, they can hop at a speed of 40 miles an hour when they're being pursued.
Ted,
Wow.
what was that like? I can't believe that.
I know, huh? That
is-
was something. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. We had I remember when we were in Australia, Fred and I went to a fancy restaurant and we ordered all of their expensive dishes, like, 4 or 5 different plates. And the waiter looked at us and said, "You can't eat all of this." I said, "Well, we're just going to taste it. When are we ever going to come back here? This is Australia." So we ordered and we just took a little bit out of each other.
Yeah,
Because it was
you haven't lived till you've had fillet of wombat, guys.
Yeah.
We have one more clip that this is China, because I know, Gavin, you had mentioned this as one of the many foreign trips. Do you have a story about being in China? I cannot believe that.
Well, I know there's a great shot of all of us walking on the Great Wall.
You know,
And, I treasure that picture. It was just great. And
I will say-
I know the only thing we found difficult, Doug had a lot of Aaron Spelling's, Linda Evans was there and John Forsythe. It goes on and on and on. And we all went out to dinner at a restaurant one night and we looked at the food when they brought it. We almost threw up. We couldn't eat that kind of stuff. It was claws and bugs and things like you couldn't believe.
Oh, the fillet of wombat is delicious. Interesting.
That was special.
I will say one cool thing about China was that I was in school at the time and studying. My teachers had me the Great Wall of China while I was sitting on it.
Wow.
That was.
And I remember Cindy. We were shooting someplace outside. It was an external shot, and Cindy had to go to the bathroom. And she went into this lady's room. You go to the bathroom.
I went to the ladies.
She came out screaming, crying, and everything. We said, what happened in there? What happened? She said, I can't even tell you. She said, oh, well, they don't have real toilets. They have holes in the floor, and you just have to sit there. And the only Caucasian person there, they were all standing around looking at me, pointing.
And
that poor dear deserved an award for that. What kind of a life was that? A highlight.
It was scary.
Bernie?
Yeah.
What were you going to say?
This stays with me. Brett and I felt that our friend Teddy was being underused. And we said, we got to sit down and write a story for Teddy. And we came up with Isaac's History Lesson, which is one of the best segments, in my opinion. And he had
Scatman Carruthers, Bernie.
Scatman Carruthers. And
Bernie Watson.
Vernay Watson.
Vernay Watson. And we had this line. Teddy and Vernay were on the deck. It's nighttime, all stars are shining. And she has this line that I very proudly gave her. Our ancestors made the crossing below decks in chains and didn't get to see any of this. And she made a mistake when she said this. She said, our ancestors made this crossing. Hold it. They didn't go to Acapulco, made the crossing. So the one word changed the whole thing around.
Of course.
But,
We have actually.
we took care of Teddy.
Do you want to show the clip
Yeah,
from
we have a
China?
clip
Seth?
of China.
And then we're going to go to Jill, who has donations, I think, right, Seth?
Yes.
And then we're going to have our medical break. So let's just show this little clip, because I felt as a kid, because the Love Boat started when I was 8 years old and you started going around the world, it was like National Geographic, but entertaining with my friends, all of you. So to see this like in China, it was like, for me, it was boring to watch, PBS, as great as it is. But I was really seeing China for the first time through the Love Boat. And I'm sure you've heard that many times. I'm going to show this little clip right here.
This place is incredible. And that's the Washington Tea House. And that bridge, that's the Bridge of 9 Turnings, because evil spirits cannot go around corners.
Isaac, I love sightseeing with you. It's like going to school.
Oh, it's even better. There are no exams.
Except there was for Jill.
Unfortunately.
Do you guys have any of the clips of us in Japan where we actually dressed up as samurais and geishas? I'm not sure you'd be allowed to see that anymore, but it's true. I mean, remember, Gavin? We were working at that Toyo studio. It was in Kyoto or somewhere, and we were literally all dressed up like samurai. They wouldn't allow us to do that now, but it was great fun. Yeah,
I was a geisha.
You were.
I'm looking in my phone because I have that picture somewhere. I'll find it.
Okay, so Jill, can you read the donations, and then we're going to go to Dr. LaPook.
Yes, Victor from Philadelphia. Hey, Victor, $25. Yes. Peter from Pennsylvania. God, you guys are all in my old hood. $10. Thank you so much. Cynthia and the two Bills from the UK. $103. Seth and James, you're wonderful.
Wow, thank you.
And Trevor in LA, $25. Thank you, Trevor. Love Boat is such a warm and fun show. I held my breath to see who was guesting each episode. Me too. And look forward to spending Saturday nights with these wonderful actors. Thank you for all your continued enjoyment. Brian from Palm Springs. Brian! $515. Loves
all right.
the Love Boat cast
Brian.
and supporting the actors. I think I know that, Brian. That is awesome.
Brian.
That's so nice.
Hey, Jill, FYI, Queensland is one of the 3 Australian states that allow visitors to hold a koala. They carry chlamydia. So maybe Bernie can check you out later and see.
Okay.
That explains a
I
lot.
got to tell you, coming back to Japan.
Hey, Gavin, we have an emergency question.
Hi, Gavin.
Please ask Gavin MacLeod whose idea it was to have him play his own brother on the show.
Actually, There were two brothers. We had one brother, and it was very successful. They said, let's do another one. We just saw that a couple of weeks ago. It wasn't my idea, but it was very challenging. I've never had to do anything quite like that before. And I had a very nice guy that was the same height as I was. We shot over his shoulder, and the two brothers had hair, different kinds of hair. And it was kind of a very exciting week. It was very, very different. To look at somebody was supposed to be yourself, and you went. So it was an actor's challenge, and we had a lot of fun doing it. Yeah, it was just on a few weeks ago.
Oh, it's so Patty Duke of you.
So I want to go who was on the show multiple times, of course. Sure. I want to go to each person, and because we have these clips regarding guest stars, because what I was realizing when I was watching the shows again is I feel like The Love Boat was the only show probably ever on television that had the guest stars first, because the guest stars were so important to the show. And I realized that this is just the beginning.
Before the regular cast.
Cast. Thanks, Seth. Yeah, it was like before and not after, like you see any TV show. And I realized that was part of the excitement of like, it was the fun as an audience member to see the regular gang, the gang that's every week, but then like, who's going to be on this week? So this is one, because we're going to show it a little bit later on, because Gavin said it was one of his favorite episodes with the Follies. So we picked this to be the first 30 seconds, just to remind people, if you haven't seen it in a while, what the beginning of the show would be like, beginning with guest stars.
Exciting and new. Come aboard. We're expecting you and love.
It's like the most amazing people were on every single week. It's crazy.
What about the Academy Award winners? We had so many Academy Award winners. Shirley Jones, Eva Marie Saint, Ernie Borgnine. Just
Shelley Winters.
Yeah.
Okay.
Olivia de Havilland.
Olivia de Havilland.
So Jill, it just so happens to be the clip that we have. So why don't you talk about it? Did you know who Olivia de Havilland was before she was on the Love Boat?
Oh, I totally knew who she was. My favorite movie when I was a kid was Gone with the Wind.
Yeah.
So, I mean, so much so that I had a necklace that said GWTW. I have, sitting above my piano in our living room, I have Walter Plunkett, who designed all the costumes. I have signed costume sketches of all of her dresses. An original brick from the Atlanta Movie House where the movie premiered.
Wow.
Wait a minute, Jill, you had all this, like you were a kid, like before she was on the show?
Yes.
So what happened when they said, by the way, the guest star is going to be the person you're obsessed with?
And she's going to play your aunt.
Was it an order of protection?
No, wait, Cindy, was she your aunt?
Whose aunt was she?
She wasn't the aunt.
No, Carol Channing was my aunt.
Oh, wait, she was Aunt Hilly. Yeah. So she was my aunt. Okay. Yeah. I should only consult with you guys.
Yeah.
Because apparently I can't remember. But
we'll handle it.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, and it was the only guest star that I can recall that I ever was starstruck by. I mean, I was starstruck obviously by Ethel and Carol, and because I grew up doing musicals and that kind of thing, and that was incredible. But here was somebody who was untouchable because she was in the movies, so you couldn't go see her live.
Right.
Yeah.
And she was so just elegant and graceful and told the best stories about Clark Gable, how she used to, I will tell you because this is a good one. When she does that scene when she's sick and he has to carry her down the staircase, he lifts her up. She put on sandbags under her nightgown as a joke. So when he went to lift her up, he buckled and he couldn't, and so that's my favorite Olivia de Havilland, Clark Gable story, and my only one. But yeah,
Well, we're going to show this clip. You would never know that because you look so relaxed and joyous. Here's a little bit of the clip with you and Olivia de Havilland.
Know who that is? Your grandmother. You know, there's a family resemblance between you two.
You really think so?
I want you to have it.
Oh, no, I couldn't.
I insist.
My very own grandmother. Thank you. Thank you.
You had to have been freaking out.
I'm freaking out now, and that's Joseph Cotton.
Joseph Cotton.
Sitting in the background with no lines.
Right?
Yeah, anything to be on the show, right?
Come on. Just amazing. Yeah.
Okay, well,
seen that.
you mentioned Ethel Merman, Fred Grandy. Okay, so Olivia de Havilland is Jill Whelan's aunt that she doesn't remember, but was her aunt. Ethel Merman was your mom.
Was my mom. Yeah, and we sang You're the Top together in an episode.
Which was the cutest thing ever.
And you guys know that Bob Cummings was my father. Robert Cummings. Remember him? Love that Bob. You know? So, yeah. No, and Ethel got to know Mariah very well.
Yeah, Mariah told me that she went into the dressing room and Ethel immediately said, "Call me Grandma."
She did. That's an absolute story, and Mariah has never forgotten that. And Ethel and I became friends. I mean, I would call her from time to time, even when she got sick, you know, at the end. But she was the theater, and she was down to earth. I mean, everybody loved her. And
dirty jokes.
Oh God! I mean, yeah. Oh, she knew more dirty jokes than any vaudeville actor. I mean, you know, I don't know if you ran that clip of her and Carol Channing. You know those two were not the best of friends.
Oh, we have the more of a clip. We'll talk about that in a second.
Because there's a little story that goes with that when they were doing that show together.
Okay, so that's coming up. But Fred, we have it's just really fun because again, the entrances were so much of the Love Boat charm, and so this is you introducing her to Captain Stubing, your mom.
The train stops in Minsk for dinner. But the borscht will turn the cat's tongue blue. It's so good to see you, Mom. You look great. Thank you. Oh, Mom, listen, I want you to meet my boss, Captain Merrill Stubing. He's our captain.
That's why they call me Captain Stubing. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Nice to see you. Thank you. Where's Captain?
Wow.
God, that was fun those days.
She was the easiest person to work with. So much easier than Bernie. I mean, it's just no scenes at all.
I can relate to that.
She was amazing. Pen pals too.
What'd you say, Jill?
We were pen pals.
You and Ethel Merman?
Yep.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, wow.
Yep. She's something else.
So Ted, the research that I did was that I don't know if she was your favorite, but I'm going to bet she was Diane Carroll.
Oh, baby. My first screen kiss was Diane Carroll. And I kissed her about 15 times before she realized I was messing up on purpose.
You mean, Ted, you mean this?
Why don't you just shut up and kiss me?
Can't turn down a vengeful corporation.
Wow.
Yeah, love that.
Hubba.
She was a sweetheart. She was really an elegant, just a wonderful lady. Absolutely. Thank you for that clip. I hadn't seen that in a long, long time. But yeah, she was delightful.
Well, actually, that's after the romance has started. But I really love the opening scene that you two have early on in the show.
She's a famous movie star. People don't know.
Is she a movie star or a famous singer? I couldn't remember.
Nightclub.
Sorry.
Here we go.
What time do you get off work?
In about an hour.
Why don't we have one drink? One drink, mind you, in my suite. But please, do me a favor, just keep it to yourself. I really don't want anybody to know I'm on this ship.
My lips are sealed, Miss Blue.
Roxy.
Great choice.
No acting there, just being myself.
Your cute self.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh, it's so sweet.
That was a great
Yeah.
acting choice. Great acting
Yeah.
choice. To Whisper the Roxy. That was really
Yeah.
clever.
And
fun.
Bernie, you said, for speaking of love interest,
Ethel Merman.
who did you say your favorite love interest was?
Juliet Prowse.
Juliet Prowse. We all know that one, Bernie.
Yeah,
Forever.
people don't know,
And
don't
I
know
got
Juliet
this
Prowse.
script about my ex. Oh, look at those legs, mamma mia! So I said, "There's a beautiful script," and I said, "Who's playing Samantha?" And the office tells me, "Oh, Juliet Prowse." I said, "Oh my God, Juliet Prowse!" I'd been just nuts about this woman. So we had scenes in bed together, and I'm saying, like, geez, I'm so nervous. I hope my hairpiece doesn't fall off. So just now there's 50 people with sound, with camera all over the place. I'm just a wreck. And she starts to tell me a joke, and I said, wait. She said, "Oh, let me tell you." She says, "Charles Boyer had a scene like this with a very attractive lady, and just before the scene, he said, 'Sweetheart, if possibly during the scene,' we were in bed together, during the scene, 'if possibly I get, how you say, aroused, forgive me, please. If possibly I don't get aroused, forgive me, please.'" But she was a delicious human being, and oh my goodness.
We have a little clip, right, Jimmy?
Yeah, I'm trying to see.
It's
Right here it
right
is,
there.
right here.
Good.
Hold on, go ahead.
You actually turned her down. That must have really required a lot of acting.
No, I didn't turn her down.
I think you say you're not ready to be married to her.
No, we had annoying habits aside from we just got together beautifully in bed, sensually, sexually, but we were annoying each other. But that was the way the story went. But oh my goodness, what a delicious human being.
Want a cigarette, Bernie?
Yeah.
Good. Because I have something to tell you. Adult to adult. Faye, I want you to know that you must know that I do care for you. But I just feel that we haven't had enough time to really get to know one another. So, I'm sorry, but I'm really not ready to marry you right now. Right now. Now.
I don't think I heard you right.
You were
gosh.
cute, Bernie.
Delicious human being.
Jill, do you have more donations?
I do.
Oh my gosh.
Alec from Seattle, $100. Robbie and Warren from Texas, $50. Love the Love Boat, but props to the leader of chaos.
Oh,
Vidant Shoshir. Then we have Paul from Huntington Beach for $50. He had the biggest crush on Jill Whelan. Oh, thank you, Paul. The show was on in the 80s. Thanks for putting this together. Then Valerie, $50 in honor of the Rowland sisters, Valerie and Jean. And Dan, $20. A very special hello from Cape Cod to Gavin MacLeod.
Oh, that's nice.
Aw.
So cute. I don't know why I'm shouting.
You know,
I
it's
like that.
exciting.
You're old school.
Exciting.
Lauren, I know one of the people that you said was Vincent Price. Why was Vincent Price one of your favorites? I know you also said another person who's going to come on in a few minutes. But for Vincent Price, why did he stick out for you? Oh, hold on, Lauren, you're on mute. Hold on.
Oh, hold on. Wait,
Hold
you're
on,
not only
hold on.
delayed, you're muted. So
That's
wonderful
not- that's-
combination. Okay, here we go.
There we go. Go, Lauren.
I don't take it personally. I think that Vincent Price struck me as the first real gentleman I ever met. He knew everything, and food and wine and music, and he was nice to me. And I was a young, stupid person, and he was so charming and so delightful that he won me over. I loved him.
Oh.
So he wasn't scary. Well, in this clip, he's basically a hypnotist that can make you believe something. Like whatever he does, he can.
Yeah, I think this
hypnotize you into
clip,
it.
Lauren, I think you've just called Fred and Bernie jackasses, and so they're acting out, and then basically Vincent Price takes it from there. I think this, and I remember this episode. It aired right before Halloween when I was 9 years old. There we go.
Remember?
Yes.
You observe? I'm going to have you put below decks in chains, and you'll never see any of these lovely ladies again.
Jackasses. You're not going to put me anywhere. I run all the decks around here. You're just a lackey as far as I'm concerned.
You run scared, you run.
Donkeys on my ship?
Now, what happened to Doc and Gopher?
Oh, sir, I always told you they had it in them.
You get the feeling people are staring at us?
It's me. When you've got it, you've got it.
It's so silly but fun.
The glasses.
Was that Gail Gordon?
No.
No, it wasn't.
Think so.
No, it was it Ann Southern?
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
So Gavin, of course, when we asked you who your favorite guest star was, it wasn't that hard for you to say Patty MacLeod, as you should.
Oh, she was so cute. I remember we went to Cindy's wedding, and we sat in the church, and in front of us, Aaron and his wife, Candy, sat. And he turns around and he says, Patty, I've got a great part for you next week. Wow, I never even thought about that. And she did well. She played opposite Jim, what's his name? He was Bacchus.
Jim Bacchus.
Jim
Bacchus, Mr. Magoo.
She did so well. She did about 5 other ones. She was in Australia with us once and all those other, some of those other places. Yeah, and she has to be my favorite. But I have to tell you, Marianne Ross did put me away because I married her in the last one of our episodes of The Love Boat of the whole series before we started those big specials.
All right.
I had been a friend with Marianne since 1957.
Oh my gosh.
We did a Walter Winchell thing together for Dizzy, and then we Operation Petticoat together, and then she went on to have a wonderful career with Mrs. Cunningham.
Yeah, Happy Days.
Yeah, and they came to me one day on the Love Boat, and they said, we're thinking about having a permanent love interest for you. I said, it's about time. And they said, they had a list of all these big movie stars. So I said, who I would really like? So I said, there's somebody I really love, and she's a good friend. I've known her for all these years. Her name is Marianne Ross. Oh, Mrs. C. And they flipped for that, and then she came on board, and those were some nice years for me and for Marianne too. We just did a thing last year for Christmas for PBS, a big Christmas special. The two old-timers, yeah. Uh-huh.
I read your autobiography, and you're such a Broadway fan. Did you flip out? I mean, when Merman and Channing, did you flip out meeting them?
Merman and
Channing.
Are you kidding?
Carol Channing.
Carol used to live until she died about 1.5 years ago, and that was some kind of a week. Kay Ballard died, she died, and Pat Boone's wife died. It was a bad week for us, but that's what happens down here in this beautiful area. You just get ready, and so I forget what I was even talking about.
I was thinking, did you flip out when you met Ethel Merman and Carol Channing and Ann Miller?
I met Ethel. Are you kidding me? When I was doing, Bernie will remember this, when I was doing McHale's Navy, I was driving to work one morning and Bob Crane was on. He said, "You're not going to believe this." I would always listen to Crane going to work. And he said, "Ethel Merman is engaged to Ernie Borgnine. They're going to get married." I couldn't believe it. He starts screaming with laughter. He says, "I have one thing to ask." He says, "Who's going to have the pick of the litter?" So I went to work and I said, "Ernie, Ted," he said, "Yeah, Ethel and I are going to get married." And that gets back to the first time I ever met her in person, when Tim Conway and our wives went up they had a party, and Ethel was there with Ernie. and he says, "Oh, Ethel, Gavin's going to be our ring bearer." That was news to me. I'll never forget that night because Tim Conway was very funny to know. We sat together with our wives, and Ethel was at the table with Bernie, and they had a traveling fiddlers and all that. So they got near Ethel, and Conway was so bad. He said, "Ethel, sing, sing, sing." Well, Ernie had quite a bit to drink, and head down here on the plate, and she got up and she put her hands, I'll never forget her, I mean, it was in person, on his shoulders. "They say that falling in love is wonderful." She did the whole song. And Ernie was out. You know what I mean? Everybody went crazy.
I think that marriage lasted 39 days. I mean, the reception was a little longer.
Again. She got up. "They say that falling." She did it twice. And we forgot. Somebody drove her home. Somebody drove her home. That might have been an indication of what was going to happen. But
no.
She did a lot of Love Boats, and Ernie only did one with Shelley Winters.
So Gavin, we actually have 2 clips from the Follies because I know that you said that was one of your favorite episodes. But before we get to that, I know for me, my favorite guest star on the Love Boat was Charo, otherwise known as April.
Yeah.
And so when David Katz was doing
Angelina Patricia Ruiz Inés Lopez.
Wait a minute. She's here. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, Charo.
Hola, amiga.
Hola.
Hola. Hola. Cuchi, cuchi.
Wait.
Still got it.
My favorite show. Hola,
Soy muy bien.
Hola, Ted. Hola, Fred. Hola, Bernie. Hola, Charo. Hola, Gavin. Hola, Lauren. Hola, Jill. Cuchi. The best show in the world. My favorite show. And I'm very happy to hear your stories because they are very interesting and people like to know really what the hell was happening between him and God. I'm very impressed. Anyway, my English is flash. Since the Love Boat, that I swear I sound now like if I come from Mississippi.
Charo, why did you love the Love Boat so much?
Well, this kiss. The Aaron Spelling saw me performing, headlining at the Sahara Hotel in Las Vegas, and he came after the show, very tall, very handsome, kind of handsome, but very, very tall. And I look like a cucaracha talking to him. Are you Aaron Spelling? I said, meeting you. So he said to me, "You come to me, I will call my writers. You got to be in the Love Boat." I said, "Deal." So I the Love Boat, and I like it. The atmosphere, the love between the casting. I work all my life with big stars, but this gentleman and girl here are super talented, super warm, no divas, no divas, no bullshit. So I was, and my sister and me, we used to go there with chorizos, vino, and everything because it was a hell of a good time. And I love Lauren, Jill, I love everybody. I would like it one day, really, all of together, go into a ship and go to the island of Kauai and sailing all the way and have the time of our life. The best show and the best casting. This is no bullshit. This is the truth. Okay?
I will tell you.
¿Cómo se dice la palabra para bullshit en español?
El toro.
¿Cómo?
La palabra bullshit en español. Caca del toro.
Charo, just so that you know, Charo has taught us every dirty word in Spanish. That was one of her great gifts to all of us. We could insult every single waiter along the entire Baja Coast.
Charo would go to Vegas and she would perform until what, Charo? Till 2, 3 in the morning. Then she would get on a plane, come back to LA, go straight to 20th Century Fox Studios where we were shooting at the time for a 7 a.m. call, and she was pregnant.
No. That was before I get pregnant.
But you still did it 7 a.m. after a whole show.
Yeah, that's before I get pregnant. I used to finish the second shot at the Sahara, go into a plane, keep the stage makeup out, put right there to the studio and do the shot, and I enjoy very much. But at the end of the Love Boat, maybe in 1980, I get pregnant. And then they came, Aaron Spelling and the whole Kiro Kapuro came to the house and said, well, how pregnant you look. And I said, don't worry, my sister is going to dress me. I'm going to look like a watermelon with high heels. So that I was pregnant from here to here. Probably they thought that I was having an affair with Gavin, the captain, you know. I don't know. But I had a beautiful child. And I wrote a song with my guitar about butterflies flying high. I would like it very much that we really reunited all together and live like a family like we are. And you know, Seth and James host. Very good host. You hosting the whole thing very good.
Oh, thank you, Charo.
Thank you.
Have you guys heard her play the guitar? You know she's one of the guitarists.
You know what? I would like it to play the guitar for all of you. I would like it to make it a sangria and everybody have a good drink, because Aaron Spelling, rest in peace, was the Rolls Royce of the producer. He gave so many opportunities to so many people with talent, and he had to be respectful ever and ever. I compare Aaron Spelling with Walt Disney in that category. Walt Disney in Montreal, in the fantasy of cartoon and little movie man and fantasy. Aaron Spelling, the top of the top, the Rolls Royce of producer. He made so many stars. And he was so clever to cast Lauren, the little Jill. She looked like, you remember you look like a cucaracha.
I know. I have to charge my thing. Hold on a second. But yes.
Grandy teach me German. You remember when you teach me Jabol? And wait a minute. I remember. You remember you were running for congressman?
Yeah.
I vote for you.
Yes, I know. It was totally illegal, but I appreciate it.
Come on. I love you all, okay? I really, they're my family.
We love you too, Charo.
Charo, we found this.
Y Carmencita también.
Claro, Carmencita, mi hermana. Okay, mira, James. I know
you were in so many episodes as April, but I really love this one. I think this episode is where maybe someone will remember that April was going to sing, and then she thought she was being replaced by another singer, and it's this really sweet scene of you at the pool, and we'll talk about it on the other side.
And they tell you to basically pursue what you love.
Yeah, to pursue your dreams. It's really sweet, and your acting, Charo, is so great. You're so great. Everyone is. I love it.
We like what we do. It's just we made a commitment to our careers, and that's what gets us through the rough spots.
Sure. That's why we put up with all the little things that bother us.
I think I understand what you try to tell me. I gotta do what I have to do and do what I don't want to do, so I can do what I really want to do. Right? Right.
I couldn't.
Life advice from Charo.
That was when my coach.
¡Qué joven!
I love it. Every moment of the show. I love every moment. All of you are in my heart. Let's raise a lot of money. Let's really, what you're doing is so much beautiful for everybody that we are now lack in our home, and we need entertainment. And this is very interesting that it's not the anti-action. This is the real all of you. And I was having a very good time, and I thank you very much that you invite me. And let me say in Spanish to ask to people that donated for money, okay? I speak Castilian, okay? Hola amigos, estáis mirando los verdaderos estrellas del Love Boat y es un acto de caridad tremendo. Por favor, cojan el teléfono, llamen a Jill y donen lo que puedan, porque este dinero va a ser muy bien empleado. Muchas gracias a todos. You want to know what the hell I was talking about?
Yes. Go.
Hi, amigos. Hola, amigos. You're watching the
Money.
The start of the Love Boat, where they donating their time and their talent, need your help. Donated a little bit money, whatever you get, because we'll look into the right hand. Really, very beautiful show.
Thank you, Charo. Thank you. Thank you so much. Oh, that is so great. So we have another surprise guest, or another guest here who came on the show with his father, and he made a guest appearance with his father, but he's most well known for the Love Boat because he sang the theme song. Mr. Jack Jones.
All right.
Hey, hi, Jack. Hi, Jack.
I've been looking forward to this, and I'm so thrilled to be with you guys, and because it's been such a long time, and I'm auditioning my new show. It's called Microphone Envy, and
it sure is.
I don't have to ask you how you are because I've been watching. I've been just loving this. This is wonderful.
Jack, how did you get the job to be? People don't realize, but back in the 60s, 70s, 80s, TV theme songs were like amazing. They were 3 minutes long. They became basically hit songs. Nowadays, like you don't get anything. How did you get that coveted gig?
Charlie Fox and Paul Williams, who wrote the song, called me. I had no idea why they did, but they asked me if I would sing the theme to Love Boat, and I said, unfortunately, I said, gosh, I'm very, very happy to do that. I will if you want me to, but I don't know who's going to watch a show about a cruise ship.
They didn't talk to Patty MacLeod.
That's right.
I remember Paul Williams saying that he had written other theme songs for television shows, and none of them went. And then he did the theme for our show, and that was the first big hit. Yeah.
Wow.
Paul Williams. So it was
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Paul Williams was a guest star on the Love Boat too.
And then he did a guest star shot. Yeah.
Sure.
You mean this?
Yeah.
Look at that.
Oh, Jack Jones.
With Jack, and he's appearing with his father.
Ellen.
And you guys sang the Donkey Serenade. Remember that? You sang that with your dad.
Here's what happened.
Yeah.
There was a writer's strike. There was a writer's strike. And you guys were supposed to shoot, and you're going to shoot it in L.A. because you couldn't go out to see it that time. And so I was just telling somebody a story that I put together, and they said, well, gee, Mr. Jones, can we use that? And so somebody else wrote the script to my story, and that's how I got on that show.
Well, we actually have a little bit of the clip that you sent us some of when you and your dad were on. Let's just show a little bit right here. So it's so cool. What?
Because there are two clips, right?
Oh, there are two. No.
There's a song in the air, but the fair senorita doesn't seem to care for the song in the air. So I sing to the mule. If you're sure she won't think I'm a fool, serenading on you.
What a great voice!
My God, you guys sound both of you so talented.
Dorothy L'Amour, did you see that?
Yeah, right.
L'Amour. Wow.
Thank you, Ted. Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah.
Jack, do you have donations?
Go ahead.
Do you have donations to read into that microphone of yours? I think David sent you donations.
In a
Or maybe-
text.
You can't hear anything?
No. We can hear. Do
Oh.
you have donations on your phone? That's what David just texted us. Jack,
I'm sorry. Do I
are
have
we crazy? No, maybe not. Jill.
That's okay.
You know what?
Maybe
Oh, actually,
that
said
may be
Jill.
our mistake.
Okay.
Okay.
I take it back.
Well,
So Jack, you had a little special surprise for Gavin. Do you what is the little surprise?
Jack, here's your phone.
But it's not.
Oh, it's on the phone.
Oh, hold on. We're looking at it.
Thank you,
What
Miss
are you
John.
phone for?
Oh,
The donations were texted to you to read out loud. Read your text.
Receive the donation to the text. With a text.
Hold on.
Dude.
Love.
Hi, Eleanor.
Hi. Sorry, I'm not.
Nora, show Jack where the donations are.
Lenore, you want to show him where the donations are?
On the text. Show him the text.
It's going to your text.
Okay.
Hi. In the meantime, this is
Remember
our.
when we were all young?
Look at that baby.
You know what? Stupid software update is taking over.
Oh no, it's a
You know what?
software update.
David, you want to send them to Jill?
I'll do it.
David, send them to Joe.
Yeah.
Software update.
Don't worry about it,
forget
Jack. David,
Send them
just
to me. I'll
Jill.
read them.
Anyway, it wasn't a surprise. I did it for Gavin when he got a star on the Walk of Fame down here in the desert. And so I was one of the speakers. So I wrote this for him. Okay. Did you hear me?
Yeah,
Yes.
yes.
Yeah, don't get too excited. Stars galore on the ground, and today a new king is crowned. A man we all have enjoyed, a true star, not an asteroid. It's Gavin, a great actor and very hip. The captain, unassuming, not full of shit. From puddles of sand dunes to Murray with MTM. And so our lives are enriched. We toast a man who has never bitched. It's love. For Gavin MacLeod, it's love. I said it too high.
No, you sound amazing.
And then he rewarded me with this cherry said for the rest of my life.
Oh, Captain
He saved it. And you know, this is really a pleasure because I've always wanted to come into your homes and see what you how you decorate it.
Yeah. Finally.
Yeah. So.
Well, thank you so much, Jack, for dropping by. And I think we have one more clip. It's actually I should have set it up differently. It's at the very beginning because you don't even know. I think that your father is on board. I love the acting. Where is it, Seth? On here.
You guys just won't talk.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I don't see it.
No.
Oh, we have the cast intro. Okay, well, this will be from the intro. From the
Soon we'll be making another run. The Love Boat promises something for everyone. Set a course for adventure, your mind on a new romance. And love won't hurt anymore. It's an open smile on a friendly shore. It's love. Welcome aboard. It's love.
Yeah. Right.
Thank you, Jack Jones.
Thank you, Jack.
Thank you for having me.
Golden voice.
Yes. Oh my gosh. This has been so much fun. We're gonna wrap up here in a minute, but like I said, we wanted the Follies. So we our heart is in Broadway. Our dog is acting up, so Seth's gonna.
Oh, baby.
So our heart is in Broadway. So in this clip, we've got Ethel Merman, followed by Carol Channing, followed by Ann Miller, followed by Della Reese.
Wow.
So, I mean,
all in a day's work.
Yeah.
Give us a story or two before we show them. I don't even know where to begin with questions about them.
Well, I mean, if this may be telling tales out of school, but as I said, Ethel and Carol were not fast friends, and there was a certain rivalry. And we used to shoot on 2 sound stages at Hollywood General Studio. And one day we were all working on one set, and Ethel and Carol were rehearsing a song on the other set. Sound stages, right? Soundproof. Well, apparently they got into it because Carol Channing thought Ethel was wadding up pieces of tissue and sneaking them into her purse. So she accused Ethel of that. Ethel denied it, and they went back and forth until Ethel finally ended the conversation by saying, "Oh, shut your hole." Well, soundstage, right? We had to stop shooting because we could hear that. People on the set of Hawaii Five-0 said, "What the hell was that?" I mean,
This is Ethel Merman.
This was Ethel Merman telling Carol Channing to shut your hole. And it was, they had to stop traffic on Hollywood Boulevard.
Fred, do you remember when they couldn't find Carol one day?
Yes.
Jim Wetherill, our first AD, couldn't find Carol, and they're looking for her everywhere.
And there weren't that many places for her to be.
On the lot, they have these little dressing rooms called honey wagons, for anybody who doesn't know.
Right.
And there's these little dressing rooms that are in like this trailer situation. Looks like a big long bus. Finally, they found Carol. It was too hot in her honey wagon, so she was lying underneath the honey wagon on the asphalt in the shade.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Yeah.
All
Anyway,
right. Well,
they were great together.
I guess
She
it's all
was
about the
special.
final result, because for some of us, like me, who grew up in Texas, this was like the first time I saw Broadway performers was on the Love Boat, and I know I'm not alone. So we can only show like 30-second clip at the beginning, and then we have Della Reese on the second part.
I'm the greatest star. I am by far, but no one knows it.
Wait, they're going to hear a chord. A silver flute. They'll cheer each toot when I expose it.
Can't you see to look at me that I'm a natural Camille? As Camille, I just feel I've so much to offer.
Wow.
And the great Nolan Miller costumes.
We rest her case.
Yeah.
And here's Della Reese coming in, making her entrance.
I'm a great big clump of talent.
Laugh, honey, they're gonna bend in half. Did you hear the one about the traveling salesman? 1,000 laughs. Stick around for the jokes. 1,000 faces. I reiterate, when you're gifted, then you're gifted.
These are facts, I've got no axe to grind. Hey, what are they like? In all of the world so far, I'm the greatest star.
How
Wow.
amazing.
All right.
Yeah.
Come on.
All
Good
right.
memories. Good
All right.
memories. Yeah.
Wow. Jill, you have the donations that Jack was going to read. Do you want to read them before we wrap
Let
up
me see
here?
if I have them.
Okay.
Hold on a minute. We've already done these. The
Well, I
last.
don't know. David, did you?
Maybe he didn't send him.
Actually,
No.
David. Okay, maybe he'll send them to you next,
Okay.
or find out.
I got them. Wait,
Oh, you
no.
got 'em. Okay, good.
No, those are the same. David, those are the same ones. Alec from Seattle, $100. The people who love chaos. So there must be newer ones.
Okay, so while he's looking for that, we found.
I got them.
You got them.
You want me to do them?
Go for it.
Okay. $41 from the Love Boat Recaps crew on Facebook. We're having a watch party. That's awesome.
Cool.
Peggy from Florida. $50. Peggy. Thanks for the years of Love Boat. Till we can cruise again. Yes. Oh my goodness, there's so many. Then we have Steve from Florida, $206. Thank you for bringing laughter into my life for the past 40 years, from a 19-inch console to our 80-inch flat screen, Fort Lauderdale. The cruising capital of the world needs more Love Boat. Yes. Mark from Massachusetts, $103. Gavin MacLeod entertained me every Saturday from 1970 to 1986.
Wow.
Both of these iconic shows showed that the definition of family can expand beyond a nuclear family, something I needed very much at that time. Then we have Kristen from New Jersey, $50. Thank you, Kristen. Thank you to Seth and James for putting together this amazing Love Boat reunion. Erica in Woodbridge, Virginia, $100. I grew up on the Love Boat. Yay! And happy to donate what I would have paid for a Broadway show ticket. Yay!
Wow.
Cheryl from Pennsylvania, $50. Thank you, everyone, for a wonderful evening of memories. This was a must-see TV at our house when I was young. Y'all look great. Thank you, Cheryl. Bert from Madison, Wisconsin, $25. So many wonderful Saturday nights. Yay, Bert!
Yeah, and I know people are still donating. Meryl, we want to thank you. I know you just donated.
Yay.
I feel like we have to, because we've talked about Ethel Merman so much. There's this one last clip that we want to show. Oh, before we show the clip, because some of you sent us things that you're working on right now. I don't want to forget that.
Oh yeah, well,
before
we have positive, but also I want to mention everything.
Where is it?
From
So
Listen,
who sent you
I'm doing Satchmo at the Waldorf. It's a one-man show that I directed for AmericanStage.org, O-R-G. It stars L. Peter Callender, and he is brilliant as Satchmo. So it starts on February 19th, and it goes to the 28th. So just what do you call it? Streaming on AmericanStage.org. Please watch.
Yes. Okay. And Lauren, what is this right here?
I'm starring in a radio series, like the old-fashioned radio series, but this is the first one written with women as the leads. And it's about a woman and her daughter who are detectives in New York City. And it's called Murder in the Murdochs, Imagination Theater. So you listen to it on YouTube, I think. If you just look for imaginetheater.com, you'll find a lot of radio dramas. It's a lot of fun. We just recorded one this morning.
Yay!
I love it.
What about Potato Dreams of America? Is that going on?
Your movie.
Well, Potato Dreams of America is a movie written and directed by Wes Hurley that is opening at South by Southwest in March. Yay.
Yay.
And I have a small but integral role. Yeah.
And
Very
Fred,
important role.
Fred, did
It's
I
a great
read
movie, though.
Yeah.
Fred, did I read that you were working with Hunter Foster?
Well, actually, Teddy and I and
Ted.
Hunter are working together to develop a producing group that is going to be trying to
it's okay.
put together live shows for regional theaters once the pandemic lifts. And so Ted and I have worked at a place called the Red House Theater in Syracuse where Hunter has worked. And
I'm Not Rappaport.
Yeah, well, we did. We were supposed to do I'm Not Rappaport together this year and do a tour, but of course, nobody's doing that. But we are putting together this group and are very excited to look for shows to help theaters get going again once they can allow people into the theater.
I love that. Regional theaters are so important. That's great.
Absolutely, absolutely imperative.
Okay, so the last thing, speaking of your mom on the show, Ethel Merman, I love this clip. This is a great clip.
I don't hear from you anymore. This is the first time I've heard from you since the last time. Where are you?
45 seconds. South Pacific.
Oh, I love that show. Because my favorite was Annie Get Your Gun.
No, Mom, don't sing, please.
There's a no business like show business, like no business I know.
Come on.
Yeah, she was like in the dressing room, too.
Wow, what a legacy, man.
Well, thank you all so much. This was such a fun show. If you told me as a kid I'd be talking to all of you when I'm an adult, I wouldn't have believed it. So thank you all for bringing me and so many others joy.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Our pleasure.
Hey, you guys.
Yes.
Before we go, if anybody wants to see, I wrote and produced a pilot called Take It From the Top, which is a story about a child star who grew up and lost all of her money, married a wealthy guy who died and left her nothing but a strip club in downtown LA.
Downtown.
Downtown. And I wrote it with my writing partner, Leah Mangum, and Ted Lange is our director. We just wrote cameos.
Yay.
Bernie's been in it. Everybody has a cameo, and it's on YouTube. So go to Take It From the Top, Jill Whelan, and you can see our original episode and our ones in COVID.
Oh my God,
wow.
that's so great, Jill. I'm so glad you said that.
And Ann Hampton Calloway did our theme song.
Oh, she's the best.
We love Ann.
Annie is one of my besties, and she did the theme song, and she, of course, never disappoints. She's amazing.
She is amazing. Oh, I'm so glad you said that. All right. So Seth, are you gonna play us out here? I
Well,
guess
we have one more clip of the Love Boat. That,
there is.
Well,
Okay.
just my sister's friend, disco DJ Spinoza, sent the theme song, but disco style with Charo.
Yes.
Come on.
Take it, don't break it.
Oh, I love it. All right. Well, thank all of you, and thank you, Jack Jones, and thank you, Charo.
Thank you. It was great.
Thank you.
Thank
All
you.
Thank you, Seth and James.
Actors Fund.
Bye.
Okay, everybody.
Bye.
All right.
Thank you, Actors Fund.
Thank you, Actors Fund.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Mm.